Now, in this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about journaling and looking at a card completely and totally. I've got 3 examples from the Light Seer Tarot. Now, one of the things I really like about the Light Seer Tarot is there's this little booklet, and this little booklet has some great meanings. It talks about the Light Seer would be the upright position, and that would be reversed. I don't personally look at reversals unless it's really, I don't know, really random. And then each card sheet, I don't know if it's a sheet, the person that wrote the book puts a little saying in there. And I think that's great when you're using the cards for inspiration or action oriented. That this is a great book. So kind of some ideas for journaling. So I personally, when I journal, I pick a random card every day. I could have the same card 3 days in a row. But the important thing to see when you're journaling is, what do you see different? So I turn over the card with my eyes shut. When I turn it over, I open my eyes and I decide, what do I see first? What do I see first in this picture? What brings my attention? What color do I see? My first focus was on this heart leafy thing. And I thought to myself, well, that's very kind and dear. It's like, sleeping with something close to your heart. It could be like a locket. It could be, something that she needs to do. Now, because it's a nest and it's the Four of Swords, which is about healing and recovery, I feel it's it's very sweet. I feel like there is things growing around her. So how long has she been in here? That's what I mean. I always think that. Like, I look at that and go, well, if this stuff is growing around her, how long has she been there? So then I journal. Okay, I first noticed this. This is my first. Red was my first color I noticed. I noticed her curling up. I noticed, very tight up against, so she's very much in the fetal position, which very much tells me healing. I do see the nest around her, but how does that make me feel? It kind of makes me feel, when I see this card, I feel at ease. I feel comfortable. I feel, I do feel like because I guess it's because of the fetal position, I don't know, but this is personal for me. I feel like it really is a true relaxed, deep rest. It feels really good. So I journal all of that information on that card for the day. What I tend to do, and what I've been instructed to do in the past by instructors, is to, journal a different card every day and then tell the story of the cards all put together. So it kind of makes you just revisit all the cards and how they make you feel. Also, I like to say, if you're reading, doing a journal and you do the same card, within a few days, go back and see, after you're done journaling it for the second time or third time, go back and check your other entries and see what you saw first. It's kind of fun to see that, because with reading tarot, and when you're reading intuitively, you want to focus on how the card makes you feel, and what is your first focus. Like, what do you focus on first? Journaling has been instructed to me by many instructors and by many books. So I get books, I try to get cards with books associated with them. And in many of them, they talk about journaling and journaling a different card every day. Excuse me. So that is just something that will keep you involved with the tarot without trying to read yourself, without, having to have someone to read. Journaling keeps you getting to know the decks. It's hard because there's 78 cards, and do you want to take almost 3 months to go through them all? You could do 2 or 3 a day. You could do as many as you want, but I would say not to do too many when you're first starting out, because you really want to get that true feeling, or do them throughout the day. And on this card, this is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is about speed and kind of almost like not thinking about things and just going for something, even though the Swords is a thought card, because it's about your thoughts and your intellect. He's racing. He's got a mission in mind, though. He's running towards that bike. That bike is still facing that way. The bird's headed that way. Everything is going that way. There is motion here. When I see this, that's what I think. I'm thinking, let's go. Let's go do this. Let's get started. Let's move and move in this direction. Now, when I see it, I journal what's happening. Well, he's moving away from me. So I feel like he's it's weird because I picked two movement cards to show because this one feels like it's moving forward to me. This one feels like it's moving away. This one feels like it's leaving something behind. This one feels like it's moving towards something. So I kind of did that, and that's how I see them when I go, okay, what's he running from? Is he right? But he could be running towards something. It's just that's what I see when I first get this, you know. And look, he's going really fast because they've got these I don't know, highlights, whatever they are, and the road is got dots around it, so there is definitely, you know, a path that he's leaded on. I do see the bird that's going in the same direction as him. I do see the dark clouds. They're not bright. I feel like a lot of sword cards have that kind of look, that they're kind of dingy, a little bit darker, but definitely a path, and definitely it feels fast. It feels like a lot of energy. It feels like it's just time to go. It's okay, I'm moving. It feels like I'm moving out of here. It almost feels like I have a Six of Swords feeling where I'm moving out, not towards. So that's just kind of an idea. And with the Chariot, like, okay, so what's your first focus? This card kind of, he's on top of that darn Chariot. And my first thought is, oh my gosh, are you sure you want to be there? Because a lot of people talk about the Chariot and how the Chariot, you know, can get out of control. And if it gets out of control, what's going to happen to him? So I see that. I see that there's two different color horses. I definitely see that. To me, that just tells me that there's balance, though, that he is going towards something that is good. I don't know why I feel that way, but when I feel balance, I feel like whatever they're headed towards is good. There is speed. There's definitely, we've got these streaks. I'm not sure what that is in the background. It looks like water. But you can see how fast he's going by the ground underneath. You know, the picture is showing movement, but I focus on that guy, and that worries me a little bit. So is this like going too fast? Is he not paying attention enough? Does he not have the reins correctly? Are the horses going to get out of control? Is he going to fall off? And we talk about that a lot with the Chariot anyway, but I really see it here. And you can't see what's inside. Is he coming out from inside? Is he like freeing himself or what, you know? And like the Chariot's about moving, right? It's about moving forward. It's about speed. And we do say, you know, like with the Chariot, like, are you going too fast? I feel like the Chariot's a victory card. It's a good card. It's overall a positive card. However, depending on the other cards around it, is it a dangerous card? Are you going too fast? Are you moving away from something that you shouldn't be? Are you scared and moving out of a situation that maybe you need to confront? And if so, are you going so fast that when you're leaving that situation, are you going to make yourself in a worse position? So, yeah, there you go, the Chariot. So again, when you're doing journal, you know, first focus, what's the color? Do you see anything? Do you see anything in the card? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? How do you feel? Like, does it make you like, there's certain cards where I literally will get a pit in my stomach feeling, and it makes me feel awful, and I don't like those cards, but they're going to come up in readings, and I'm going to feel that way sometimes. So I need to address that. Does it make you happy? Does it make you scared? Does it, you know, any of those emotional responses? Is there any? What's the first words you think of? So these are things you can write down. So I would start with that. Like, what's the first thing you see? What's the first word you think of? What's the first color? How does it make you feel? Does it taste, smell? Can you hear anything? I have picked up cards, and I'll look at them. I'll close my eyes, turn it over, open my eyes, and in one card I tasted barbecue, like it was, you know, barbecue pork, barbecue sauce, smoky, that kind of thing. And then I had another card where I literally was hearing music. I could hear, it was more like folk music in the background, and it wasn't real heavy or real loud, but I could hear it. So if you take some quiet time, you'd be surprised that, and these visions and thoughts and sounds and tastes came later. Like, the more I journaled, the more I could feel my intuitive self, you know, really getting into the feel of the cards. So this is really a great way to really tune into your intuition on how these cards make you feel. Use the tarot as a guide to help you give good information to your client, but also it's a guide because really you're going to see different things at different times in the cards. And when you lay out a card, like you have something else beside it, does it suddenly look different? Now what's the guy running to, right? Does that look different? Yes, it looks different because now we've got a bright, nice card sitting next to it. How does that make you feel? And if we put this on the end, or we cover this up, is this guy running away from something that, is he running away from love? Look, he's running away. So again, these cards are going to feel different. So if you're looking at it just by itself, if you take the other cards away completely and you just leave the one and you're journaling on just the one, then that you're not, left with looking at other things. So that's another thing. Be sure to do them one at a time when you're journaling. When you're practicing telling the story, you can do as many as you would like, and you can do it in whatever position you like. We'll talk more about spreads as well, but there you have it. So that is how to journal, things to look for, and I hope that helps you get to know your tarot cards.